Hello everyone, zdravo svima, and welcome back to Serbian for You channel. This is the third episode and we're still in Montenegro exploring the Bay of Kotor. In this episode we're going to Kotor, old town of Kotor, and in the next one we're heading to Paris. I'll show you around and talk about it in slow Serbian. And if you missed the last episode when I was in Budva, you can find it here. And today be sure to stay with me until the end of the episode because we will have a short lesson about numbers in Serbian. So let's get started. Hajdemo!
Grad Kotor, grad pun istorije, je centralno mesto u Bokokotorskom zalivu. U Kotoru imamo luku, port, i stari grad sa 4,5 kilometara dugim gradskim zidinama. Zidine znače visoke i debele zidove tvrđava, manastira ili starih gradova. Zidine Kotora su visoke do 20 metara, a široke od 2 do 25 metara. Najviši vrh je na 260 metara nadmorske visine, altitude. Ali turisti su spremni da se penju do vrha stepenicama kojih ima čak 1426. To nije baš lako, posebno ako je toplo vreme. I za ovo će vam trebati dobra kondicija. Ali na vrhu vas čeka prelep pogled na grad i luku. Kotorske zidine zapravo imaju dva dela, donji i gornji deo. Gornji deo grada je pre imao 4 crkve, ali sada je samo jedna od njih u funkciji. Donji deo grada ima 3 ulaza. Glavni ulaz u stari grad se zove Morska vrata ili vrata od mora. I na njemu se nalazi slika Bogorodice i Svetog Trifuna. Morska vrata je ime koje dolazi iz vremena kada je more bilo sve do njih. Sada je ovaj ulaz odvojen od mora ovim lepim šetalištem.
Ovo je kao Champs-Élysées, samo lepše.
Pored glavnih vrata tu su i severna i južna vrata. Ona su u prošlosti imala drvene mostove koji su se noću podizali u vreme opasnosti od neprijatelja. Do danas nismo sigurni kada je prvi put bilo grada na ovom mestu. Arheolozi kažu da u 5. veku sigurno jeste, ali verovatno je to bilo i ranije. U 6. veku je ovde bila prva vizantijska tvrđava. Kotor je jako dugo bio pod Vizantijom. U 12. veku Kotor postaje i deo Srpskog kraljevstva sve do 1371. godine. Posle toga je pod Ugarskom nekoliko godina, a onda 1 godinu pod Venecijom, a zatim opet pod Ugarskom. Krajem 14. veka 1391. godine Kotor je postao nezavisan grad republika. 30 godina je bio nezavisan grad, ali je zbog ekspanzije Osmanskog carstva na Balkanu tražio od Mletačke republike Venecije da postane njen deo. Ovaj period je i najvažniji period za Kotor. Od 1420. godine do 1797. godine Kotor je pod mletačkom vlašću. U 16. i 17. veku su u Kotoru bili veliki zemljotresi, a krajem 18. veka sporazumom Kotor postaje deo Austrije. Mnogo naroda i mnogo kultura se nalazilo u Kotoru. Za vrijeme Drugog svjetskog rata Kotor je 2 godine bio pod okupacijom Italije, a onda i pod nemačkom okupacijom. Nakon oslobođenja postao je deo Crne Gore, tada u Jugoslaviji.
Ako volite mačke, Kotor je pravo mesto za vas. A na ovom trgu ih ima najviše u gradu.
Mačke se u Kotoru osjećaju jako sigurno i čak se ne plaše ni pasa. Psi u Kotoru se rijetko mogu vidjeti zato što su mačke ovdje dominantne.
Ovdje možete posjetiti i muzej mačaka u kome se nalazi kolekcija fotografija zanimljivih mačaka, naravno. U muzej ponekad uđu i mace sa ulice. Idemo na plažu. Baš su lijepi talasi. Vidi šta sam našla.
A sada ćete vidjeti kako to Kotor izgleda noću. Ovdje smo bili u jednom restoranu koji ima uživo muziku.
U Kotoru obavezno morate probati domaće krempite.
Sada je mrak i mi uskoro idemo iz Kotora, ali smo sigurni da ćemo se u ovaj lepi grad pun istorije ponovo vratiti.
You heard a lot of numbers, a lot of years in this episode, and now let's take a look to grammar behind it. You can see here when I said zidine Kotora su duge 4,5 kilometara, after number I put genitive plural with a at the end. So kilometar in genitive plural it will be kilometara. And also here, zidine su visoke 10 metara. So in genitive plural, metar is metara. And it's the same for feminine gender. When I have godina, it's feminine gender. We have a at the end, it's feminine. And in plural, it's also a. Kotor je bio nezavisan grad 30 godina. You can see that just pronunciation here is a little bit different. Godina, and here in genitive plural 30 godina. So a little bit longer a here, but pretty similar, pretty the same. And also in neutral gender, we will also have that a in genitive plural. So leto in genitive plural will be leta. So 30 leta here. So you can see that when we have number and after that we put noun in genitive plural, it will always be a, metara, kilometara, godina, leta. But pay attention if you have numbers 1, 2, 3 ili 4 or some other number that has 1, 2, 3, 4 in it. So like 23 or 34 or 42. And it doesn't work for 12, 13 and 14 because when you pronounce this number you don't hear dva. So it's 12, 13, 14. You don't hear 2, 3, 4. So just when you hear 2, 3 or 4 in some number, after that you will have genitive singular actually. Kotor je 2 godine bio pod okupacijom Italije. So after 2 we have godine, 2 godine. So we say godine, it's actually genitive singular of godina. Or for masculine gender we have a, so 2, 3, 4 veka, so it's genitive singular. We would say 2 veka, 3 veka, 4 veka, but for godine, 2 godine. And for neutral gender, we also have a as for masculine, and we would say 2 sela, so selo is genitive. Selo is basic form, it's nominative singular, and in genitive singular we will also put this a, so it will be 2, 3, 4 sela. And it's also different if you have a number 1 or also some other number with number 1 in it, like 21 or 31. Now it's completely different. We say Kotor je 1 godinu bio pod Mletačkom republikom u 14. veku, for example. So number 1, it's actually works like adjective in Serbian language. So we need to know which case to put it in, and we can change it in different forms, and also to change it in masculine, feminine or neutral gender. So we would say beba ima 1 godinu. So it's actually accusative here. And we can say 1 godina je bila dobra. So it's subject in this sentence and it's nominative here. So we have feminine gender and nominative, singular. Or when we have, for example, a word dan, which is masculine, we would say jedan dan. So you can see here jedan will be in masculine, and here jedna it's in feminine. And that's because number 1 works like adjective. And now we have a very similar situation with ordinal numbers. So far we've been talking about cardinal numbers. 1, 2, 65, 176, 1, 2, 3 in English. But now we're going to talk about ordinal numbers, redni brojevi na srpskom, like prvi, drugi, treći, first, second, third, etc. In Serbian, ordinal numbers also function like adjectives. They agree with the noun in gender, case, and number. You can see here, od 15. do 18. veka, we will use this form, og, ends in og. So this form, this ending, is ending for adjective, masculine gender. So vek is masculine and veka is genitive for noun, but 18, 15, 18, it's actually adjective, genitive, masculine. And also here for feminine, godina, we would say od 1420. godine. So in feminine gender we have the same ending for adjective as for noun. So it's 20. godine do 1727. godine. So in feminine gender we will have the same ending for adjective and for nouns, and in masculine, and it's the same in neutral gender, we will have og for adjective and a for noun, and this is genitive singular. And here we have for example, when we say 1420. godina je važna za Kotor, now we have 20. godina. Now we have the basic form of godina and basic form of adjective in feminine gender, so nominative feminine gender. And now we also change it because we have subject of the sentence, and then we put noun and adjective, number here that works like adjective, and we would say 1420. godina. Maybe you notice that 1000 here and also here and here it's 1000. It's a little bit different, but we can talk about that in some other video. And here we have example for masculine gender. For example, 15. vek je važan za Kotor. We would say 15. vek. Also basic form, nominative, masculine gender, singular. We say just 15. vek. If we want to say sada idemo u 1420. godinu, then here we were going to use accusative actually, so godina is a feminine gender, and then we will put it in accusative and would say 1420. godinu. If we have something masculine like vek, we're going to say sada idemo u 15. vek. This is also accusative, but just for masculine gender we actually have the same form in nominative and accusative. So when you have some ordinal number, you have to think which case you need to use in some specific situation, and to put everything in correct form, in correct case, in correct gender, and singular or plural.
Please let me know in the comments if you understood this lesson about numbers, and if you have any questions, please write also in the comments. And thank you for being with me today. Subscribe so you won't miss the next episode about Perast. Hvala vam I vidimo se!